Fitness classes such as pump, step, spin, LBT, etc. are not good for fat loss and by expansion getting into shape. And I know that that's quite a bold thing to say, considering I used to teach these classes at least 3 times a week when I used to work at my local Pure Gym. But hear me out, because your entire success with this fitness journey might well be dictated by what you're doing in the gym and what you're not doing. And if your current idea of going to the gym involves going to LBT on Monday, spin on Wednesday, and then doubling up on kettlebells and boot camp on a Friday, then you're essentially pissing on a house fire to put it out, especially if these classes are your sole priority when going to the gym. Don't get me wrong, you're showing up, you're doing something, which fair play, well done. And especially if you come from a place whereby you didn't do anything in the past, just doing something is going to get some results for you, at least in the short term, but there's going to be a cut-off point. If you've been doing classes for the past 2-3 years and not noticed much progress in the past 2-3 years, then that's probably why. Because if you're going to the gym specifically to transform your body, transform how you look and feel, and you're relying on classes to do that, then I need to unfortunately have a bit of an honest conversation with you, which might hurt a little bit. Firstly, let me start with a little bit of a confession, because I think that it puts everything into a little bit more context. When I used to teach fitness classes at my local Pure Gym, they were relatively popular. That's not me being arrogant or cocky. They did used to fill up quite a bit, and I used to get some decent feedback from it as well. People enjoyed my classes, they kept coming back, and they'd recommend it to their friends as well, which was pretty cool for my ego. So by every external measure, I was actually a pretty good class instructor. But here's the thing I knew, even back then, which I didn't say out loud. I designed most of those classes in the staff room about 5 to 10 minutes before they actually started. Over breakfast, I scribbled some exercises on a sheet of paper and just thought, how can I make this as difficult but also as challenging and as enjoyable as possible? I tried to make them interactive and fun, but also I wanted people to get a little bit of a sweat on. And then I'd go out and kind of feign energy and intensity because I was sleep deprived and fueled on caffeine at that point. But I feigned it so well that people never really questioned whether or not they were effective. And they loved it every single time they came back for more. But deep down, despite how popular these classes were, I knew that they weren't actually going to get people the results that they wanted. They weren't going to get people into shape in the meaningful way that they desire. And I felt quite guilty about that for a long time, because people were showing up, putting the effort in, and I knew that they just weren't going to get results, and they were basically just pissing in the wind, especially the people that turned up specifically for those classes and didn't do anything alongside that. And this is why I'm making this video, because I want to share that with you, because I just didn't have the balls to say it back then. And honestly, somebody needs to say it to you, because I actually want you to get the results that you desire. Now, before the fitness class enthusiasts come out and start, hunting for my head in the comments, I'm not saying that fitness classes are completely shit for everything. They have some benefits. They're good for socializing, they're good for mental health, they're good for easing beginners into the gym environment. And as I said before, if you've come from a place where you have never exercised before in your life, never done anything active, and then started doing fitness classes, you would notice some progress in the short term because it's incredibly new and novel. You'd make some progress by doing absolutely anything at this point, but there will be a point where those results just stall because it's no longer new and novel to you. They're great for getting a sweat on and also being used as a glorified form of cardio. So if you don't want to run on a treadmill, or if you don't want to go and get steps out, then going to a class every day might be a much more fun alternative to that. So they've got that going for them. So yeah, fitness classes do have their place. I'm not disregarding them all the way, and I'm not telling you to never go to one again. But what they are not, and this is the most important thing, is a transformation tool. And if a transformation is what you're after, then that distinction matters enormously. So you're probably wondering why fitness classes aren't really good for losing weight, toning up, transforming your body, etc. 3 reasons, and they're all connected. The first is that the workouts and the classes aren't structured and tailored towards you. A fitness class is designed for a room full of people to try out, all with different goals, fitness levels, experiences, and different bodies as well. The instructors can never design a class that's specifically tailored to you, because that would be a one-to-one PT session, wouldn't it? So what you're kind of doing is generic. You're just doing a generic workout plan that you can basically just get off the internet. The only difference is that there's someone shouting at you whilst you're doing it. And the thing is, generic programming causes generic results, which to say is not that much, really isn't. The second reason is that these classes do not promote progression. If you want to tone up, get stronger, build muscle, transform your body, you need to be progressing relatively regularly with your exercises. So one day you go in, do a overhead press or a lat pull down, the next day you go in and you probably do that for a little bit more weight or a couple more reps or a little bit more tempo or better form, whatever it is, you just get a little bit better with that exercise each time. With fitness classes, they don't promote that. I guarantee if you are a fitness class enthusiast, you've been picking the same weight that you always have been for the past few months, maybe even the last few years. And the third reason, and this is arguably one of the most important and valuable reasons, is that the fitness instructor taking the class probably can't make sure that you are doing everything correctly. Because it's a class designed for a room full of people, I guarantee the fitness instructor doesn't have the time, doesn't have the eyesight, doesn't have the awareness to pick everybody out of the class who's probably not doing it correctly and give them advice on how to make it correct. So everyone that's not doing it correctly are either at risk of injury or they're not getting the most benefits out of the exercise itself. You could be doing something completely incorrectly and getting less benefits than anyone else in that class, but you'll never know because the instructor has never told you how to do it correctly. Form and technique matters more than you'll ever realize. Form and technique is the difference between you training your arms and training your back. It's also the difference between training your legs and completely blowing out your legs and ending up in hospital. So what does actually work? What should you be doing instead? Well, firstly, you need a plan, a structured routine plan that you can follow, built around a series of exercises that you can do every single day you go in and progress with. And as I said, when I mentioned progression, I basically mean improving the weight each time you go in, increasing the amount of reps, increasing the amount of sets, making the form a little bit better, just improving with those exercises each time that you do them. That process, the process of deliberately showing up and doing those same exercises but just getting better with them, is something called progressive overload, which is the foundation behind toning up, getting stronger and building muscle. And it's the single most important concept behind getting results in the gym, bar none. So you need to follow a plan that is tailored to you, tailored to your goals, tailored to your preferences, dislikes, likes, and everything in between. And you also need to follow that plan, focusing on progression every time that you can go in, or trying to progress it every time you go in. Fitness classes should only ever be used as a side project to those. It should never be the priority. If you are focusing and prioritizing your workout routines, you can do whatever you want alongside that, as long as they are the priority and not just something that you can do if you fancy it. Fitness classes do have their place in the gym, sure, but they are not beneficial for helping you make incredible transformations. No idea why I said that so slowly. Use it as a byproduct, not the main product. Use it as a secondary option, not the primary option. Your primary option should be your own routine focusing on progression. You should be training. Fitness classes are exercise. Keep that in mind. I hope you liked this video and I hope it helped. If you did like it, make sure you give it a like. If you want to catch any more content like this, which is designed to help you transform your body without hating your life in the process, make sure that you either follow my Instagram at k.p_health or subscribe to this channel. And if you want some more in-depth tailored advice on how we can help you do that, click the link in the description below, fill the form out, and I'll be in touch with you to show you how exactly we can help you do that. In the meantime, catch you in the next one. Peace.